I was around Ashton Kutcher and Diddy before, and they were speaking about Brittany Murphy, and I don't think I ever told this story.
Actress Brittany Murphy has died
Media
at the
and
age of
paparazzi
32.
surrounded the home that she shared with her husband, Simon Monjack.
What if Hollywood's greatest trick isn't creating heroes on screen, but hiding them in plain sight? We all watched the fall of one Hollywood monster, Diddy, but a darker, more chilling rumor is emerging from the rubble. It's a whisper that points to Ashton Kutcher, not as the charming goofball, but as a figure who has moved through a 20-year trail of tragedies. His ex-girlfriend was mysteriously ended by a serial killer. His other ex, Brittany Murphy, dead under hotly disputed mysterious circumstances. And now his ex-wife, Demi Moore, is linking his name to the same dark world as Diddy's. And rumor has it he is way worse than Diddy. So what is it? A string of horrific coincidences? Or the visible trace of a man who has thrived in the shadow of Hollywood's darkest secrets? This isn't gossip, it's a timeline. Today, we connect the dots the tabloids are afraid to touch. We're examining the pattern, the proximity, and the profound silence that has protected a narrative for decades. The story of Ashton Kutcher is about to be rewritten, and what it reveals could change everything you thought you knew about him.
Ashton Kutcher is getting set to take the witness stand at the trial of a notorious accused serial killer known as the Hollywood Ripper.
So let's begin our investigation where this story first came to light, in the aftermath of the Diddy trial. You see, contrary to what most people believe, Diddy's trial wasn't the end of the dark things that go on in Hollywood. If anything, it was the beginning. Diddy's trial exposed a web of Hollywood secrecy that had been going on for a long time. You had secrets getting revealed, reports of A-list celebrities paying to keep their names from getting revealed in Diddy's cases. However, it seems no amount of money could save some of Diddy's closest friends from getting dragged into his scandal.
Okay, we know P. Diddy is in hot water, but what about the celebrities he could bring down with him? Listed in some of the civil suits against P. Diddy are Grammy winners, Oscar winners, and even members of the royal family.
However, even though many celebrities were named, a couple stood out, and the most surprising name on that list wasn't just a friend of Diddy's, but a man once hailed as America's sweetheart, Ashton Kutcher.
You know, how many guys were on video saying, "Ain't no party like a Diddy party"? How many people like openly talked about being there?
LeBron?
Yeah, how about Ashton Kutcher? All these people. Like, you guys all went. You didn't see nothing? You didn't see nothing?
But to understand Ashton's role in all of this, we must first trace the connection. And that path leads us directly to the woman who knew him best during his rise, Demi Moore.
Here because she's ready to tell us about the life we didn't know. The one that seemed to be unraveling 7 years ago. The husband she loved had left.
Demi Moore's recent memoir, Inside Out, provided a candid, painful look at their marriage. She described a relationship that began with passion, but quickly warped under a disturbing pressure. Pressure to be younger, more experimental, to mold herself into a fantasy. She spoke of a loss of identity. And at the center of this transformation, she has hinted, was an influential third party, Sean Diddy Combs.
Loved my children. It wasn't something he feared. He seemed to be comfortable with the enormity of the ex-husband. I mean, you know, I felt like I was not coming with baggage. I had trunk.
Now, on the surface, Demi Moore and Diddy were an unlikely pair, the A-list actress and the hip-hop mogul. But a closer analysis reveals their worlds overlapped significantly at exclusive parties, high-profile events, in the same insular circles of the elite. This isn't just about friendship. Moore's account suggests Diddy's role in influencing Ashton during their marriage was extremely active. According to Demi, Diddy's presence introduced a corrosive dynamic into her marriage, pushing boundaries and encouraging a lifestyle that erased her sense of self. This testimony is crucial because it does more than air marital grievances. It establishes a direct, influential link between the man now facing devastating allegations, Diddy, and the man whose own past is now under our microscope, Ashton Kutcher. It suggests Kutcher wasn't just adjacent to that world of excess and exploitation. He was being actively mentored into it, and if that's true, then the tragic figures in his past, from Brittany Murphy to Ashley Ellerin, must be re-examined not as coincidences, but as potential consequences of the company he kept. Which forces us to ask, if Diddy's influence was a poison in Demi Moore's life, what other damage did that same influence leave in its wake?
Tell the story here. While he was married to Demi Moore, he was still sneaking around seeing Brittany Murphy. You understand? We were going to a Nets game, so we picked him up, and he was explaining to Diddy that every time he goes to Brittany's house, paparazzi always catches him or almost catch him coming out her apartment or coming out the building. And Diddy was telling him that's either the doorman or your security. And he was still married.
So, with Demi's story in mind, the lens through which we see Ashton Kutcher changes irrevocably. What once looked like a series of unfortunate associations now begins to resemble a pattern of affiliation. And suddenly, red flags from his past don't just appear, they scream. One critical point is consistently overlooked. Diddy is not the first of Ashton's inner circle to be convicted of monstrous acts. Let's not forget Danny Masterson, currently serving a 30-year prison sentence for the R-word. Danny is a man whom Ashton Kutcher vocally and publicly defended, writing a character letter to the judge pleading for leniency for his friend. I am telling you, these men weren't distant acquaintances, they were best friends. And in the early 2000s, Ashton, Diddy, and Masterson were so tight they were dubbed Hollywood's new Rat Pack, a nickname that, in retrospect, feels less like a joke and more like a mission statement for a group of powerful men getting up to no good, and the nature of that no good was hinted at long before any convictions. Let's examine one infamous moment from the Rat Pack that is frozen in time. A 2002 interview on The Rosie O'Donnell Show. And the Mila Kunis incident was not an isolated incident. It was a pattern, broadcast on national television and treated as a punchline. Let's examine examples moment by moment. In 2003, on his own show Punk'd, Ashton Kutcher made a statement to the camera. He said of then 15-year-old Hilary Duff, quote, "She's one of those girls that we're all waiting for to turn 18, along with the Olsen twins."
Hilary Duff. I huff and I puff and I blow the Duff down! Hilary Duff is in Liz McGuire. She also has an album out. She's going to be in a movie called Cheaper by the Dozen. And she's one of the girls that we're all waiting for to turn 18. Along with the Olsen twins.
Ashton then listed her career accomplishments as reasons he wanted to date her. In another resurfaced clip, a teenage Mila Kunis sits on his lap during a promotional interview. His response? Laughing, grabbing her, and saying, "It feels good, and I like it a lot."
Hi, my name is Mila Kunis, and I'm from That 70 Show, and you're watching In the Crease TV.
Hi, I'm Ashton Kutcher, and I'm from That 70 Show TV. No, That 70 Show too.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm doing this is not because I think In the Crease is good, but because Jock told me Mila would sit on my lap if I did. It feels good.
Later, reflecting on her at 14, he added, "She was even hotter then, if I'm allowed to say that." Let's be forensic about this. We are not looking at off-color jokes. We are looking at a documented public ideology. First, it establishes a conscious countdown to the legal age of consent for multiple underage girls, treating their childhood as an inconvenient waiting period. Second, it commodifies them, valuing their professional success as part of their sexual appeal. Third, it demonstrates a physical and verbal possessiveness over a young person's body performed for the camera without hesitation. This is the authentic, unscripted Ashton Kutcher of that era. This is the man who ran with Diddy's Rat Pack. This is the man Demi Moore suggests was being molded in that image. When you layer this evidence, the bets, the countdowns, the public groping onto the tragic fates of other women in his orbit, a chilling continuity emerges. It paints a portrait of a man for whom the exploitation and and objectification of young women was not a secret vice, but a public brand. And it forces us to ask the most uncomfortable question yet. If this was his public behavior, what norms governed his private world? And it is in the shadowed corners of his private world where the pattern shifts from disturbing behavior to profound tragedy. Because the unsettling truth is this: Ashton Kutcher didn't just have one ex-girlfriend who met a tragic, mysterious end. He had two. The first case was Ashley Ellerin in 2001. The red wine was her blood. Now let's examine the second, Brittany Murphy in 2009, a vibrant, beloved actress. She died suddenly at 32 from what was ruled as pneumonia and anemia. But the circumstances, her rapid decline, the strange symptoms, the later revelation of heavy metals in her system have fueled legitimate suspicion and unanswered questions for over a decade. Kutcher was not just a friend, he was a close co-star and a former romantic partner. He was in that inner circle. Many have whispered that Ashton and Diddy might have had a hand in her sudden demise, but nothing has ever been proven. So consider the timeline. Two young women, both romantically linked to Kutcher, both dead under violent or highly suspicious circumstances within 8 years. One could be a horrific, random tragedy. Two becomes a statistical anomaly, a pattern that defies coincidence. When you layer this pattern onto the established profile, the man who bet on kissing a 14-year-old, who counted down to his co-star's 18th birthdays, who was mentored by Diddy and defended Danny Masterson, a terrifying question crystallizes. We are no longer just analyzing inappropriate behavior. We are tracing a trail of proximity to death and devastation. The question is no longer what did he do, but what and who was around him, and what does that repeated proximity reveal about the world he actively chose to inhabit? Let me know what you think in the comments. Till next time, bye.